Hello and welcome to the Famalam podcast. Today we are learning about family traditions around Christmas. Got the Christmas tree here. Daisy's got a Christmas tree. Mal and Seannah, our guests, have got a Christmas tree. Happy Christmas if you're listening to this around Christmas time. Well, we're going to help you think about how to build helpful family traditions to center our family lives around Jesus and his teachings around this season of Christmas. Famalam is about faith and mission and love and a bit of mayhem, helping families thrive as we consider how to do Christian parenting. So I'm here with Daisy.
Hello.
And we're doing a daddy and daughter double date with Mal and Seannah. Hi, Mal. Hi, Seannah. Tell us a little bit about you. Introduce yourselves.
So we're two representatives of the Calladine family. I have a sister, two brothers. One's a foster brother who is part of our forever family. My brother is married as well, so we have the wonderful sister-in-law. And then mum and dad are the patriarch and matriarch of the chaos.
Yeah, we did have three birth kids, Seannah, and then once we'd had the trial go, Amy and Jaden, and then 10 years ago, just about, we started fostering. And we've had 11 foster kids, and the oldest of those, it was 11 when he joined our family, and he's now 19.
Yeah.
Wow. And Mal, you were really kind to me when I was a very young 20-something. I spent many, many evenings hanging out around your house with you and Chriselle, learning all sorts of positive family traditions from you. And so when we were thinking, well, who could we talk to about Christmas family traditions? We're like Mal and Chriselle, but Chriselle's been taken out with this awful flu that's going around. And so Seannah, thank you for stepping in and representing the Calladines. And I wondered, maybe kicking off, why are Christmas traditions such a powerful tool for shaping family identity and connection? Because that's something you guys have done. You've really shaped your family identity around the Christmas traditions. How do they help shape family culture?
I would almost want to go back broader to, but how we do household is the most important. Contentiously, I'd say it's way more important than church in terms of where it fits with, does your household represent the story? So even like Christmas is Jesus came to be with us, then Easter is Jesus saved us, and then Pentecost is Jesus empowered us, and Harvest Thanksgiving is we're thankful for that, and and all the other ones. It's the idea, Romans 8, where it says, where your spirit meets with God's spirit, you cry, Abba, Father. There's sense in that where your essence, where your identity meets with God's identity, a bigger story, you cry, Abba, Father. So it's that sense of where your story meets a bigger story. So Christmas feels like triple win. It's like culturally big. It's, that there's loads of opportunities to engage with it in wider culture, but it's also this amazing spiritual story that reinforces a key element of when your story meets with God's story. So we get to tell the story. And in some ways, for a month, Advent being the preparation time, we love Advent. 3 candles out of 4. And we've spent a lot of time, we have 4 different Advent candles around the house. It feels like the story that you most build up to.
Yeah.
So love it. Triple win.
Like, we genuinely have a celebration a month. It is borderline excessive, but it is absolutely amazing. But I really remember as a kid, as well as into adulthood, this is your place in the story, because there's a particular point of the Passover, because we do Passover as well, of the Passover meal, where it is you're remembering that this is your place in the story.
So so Exodus 12, I love that it's actually in the directives around Passover. Exodus 12, it says, when your children ask you, what does this mean to you?
Yeah.
So when you tell the story of Passover, it's this amazing contextualization of Easter. But when your children will ask you, what does this mean to you? So from one level, all these things we do at Advent, obviously we've had different stages of primary school, teenagers, and now adults in our family. But we're still asking the question, what does this season mean to you?
Yeah. And I think it is a societal misconception that Christmas is primarily for kids, but it's the fact that like as you grow up and as you become adults and as you grow and evolve as human beings, actually what it continually still means for you and who you are and where you're at in that moment. But still the traditions giving you that tie back. The magic of Christmas for me hasn't died in growing older. And I think traditions are a really huge part of that, because it's the continuation of a lot of that is reconnecting you back to the story. Yeah.
That's
So good.
amazing. I suppose you've half answered my next question, but with discipleship, how do faith-based traditions at Christmas contribute to your child's discipleship, like their relationship with Jesus specifically? How does having that same tradition year on year help that?
Well, I think to know your place in the story is just about everything
Mm.
on one level, but even what's the goal of discipleship? So I would say sometimes people go, the goal of discipleship is, that the good character. Yeah. I don't go with that because of Romans 5:3, which is when we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character hope. And hope doesn't disappoint. That there's a goal beyond character formation that's hope. And hope is to know your place in the story and to know that this season with the hope is Emmanuel, that God just might be with us. He's Emmanuel. He's with us. And that's the hope. So if I was going to define discipleship as hope and bringing hope to your kids, then the message of the season for me is, what does this festival speak of hope?
That's so cool. I've never thought about it in that way. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But we've got our tree up. For us, we do Thanksgiving in the American tradition. And
My favorite one.
then it's normally the weekend that we celebrate Thanksgiving is normally the first Sunday in Advent. So we do this mad turnover where everything of Advent disappears. And then 2 out of the 3 trunks that represent Christmas come out for things like the 4 sets of candles and we put on the boob, Michael Bublé, and it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And then we start to decorate the house, and everybody's got their tradition of the thing that they like to do. Jaden's the stars.
Jaden's the stars. Yeah.
Amy's the host of Angels.
Amy's the host of Angels over the piano. And then we have, because we're Danish on my mum's side, so there's this like cheeky Christmas elf in Denmark called a Nisseman, and we have like a bunch of different Nisseman decorations for the kitchen, and that's mine.
Yeah. And then we go and choose a tree. We like to try and choose a live one if we can, and then like the 3rd trunk comes down, which is the tree trunk, and then everybody decorating the trees. It all adds to the sense of, yeah, and obviously you build these things up over time.
Oh, yeah.
When people have said to us, where do you start? I think it's, we're nearly 35 years into doing family traditions. So it's
we'll get to where we start in a minute, because having thought about the why of Christmas traditions, maybe think a little bit about the what. And I imagine some people listening, people watching will be like, oh, yeah, that's great. You've been doing this for 35 years. Here we have some traditions, but we'd like to start building some others in. Yeah. What might people do if they feel like they've missed it when the kids were younger? How might they start again with hope rather than with guilt? What could families begin to do?
It's a hard one when you've missed, because I think there can be some resistance. So I think I'd want to ask the kids, what do you own?
Great.
What do you like? So for instance, this is Christmas to us. This is a candle called Festive Cheer. And I remember when Jaden opened it and went, it's the smell of Christmas.
Yes.
And it is the smell of Christmas. Now, I know that all of us really own these candles. Other candles are available, but Festive Cheer.
Ours is Marks and Spencer's frankincense and myrrh. Fantastic. That's the smell of Christmas for the Robinsons.
Yeah, and that I know for Jaden is really owned as, I feel Christmassy as soon as this is lit.
Yeah.
So to then do something that is okay, do we get a little pause moment? And what does that moment look like for you? You know, I think working out what you own.
Like the kids, what is it that the kids or the family members are into and passionate about? Me and my sister, one of our favorite Christmas movies is The Holiday, which I think Dad is a very, very resenting appreciator of now.
I've
You're
been
not
on the
happy about
journey.
it.
I've been on the journey.
But it's basically like me and Amy, literally for years, like since we were teenagers, one of our Christmas traditions between us as sisters is we watch that movie together. But it's been a thing that over the past couple of years, we've then been like, hey, who in the family wants to watch it? And then even growing upon that, this is basically my life's mission to make my life more and more like my favorite movies, is that there is a random line that Jack Black says about making Christmas Eve fettuccine. And I have wanted to do that for years. But we do, because again, Danish family, do Danish Christmas on Christmas Eve. So I was like, this is never going to happen because it's always Danish Christmas. But last year, we celebrated Danish Christmas a day early. So I remember going, Mum and and I was like, Mum and Dad, can we please do Christmas Eve fettuccine? Can we all do this?
Watch The Holiday.
And we watched The Holiday as a family. And
Dream come true.
Oh, I cannot tell you, I was so happy. It tasted so good. That is something that genuinely me and Amy have been doing since teenagers. And so I guess encouragement that it can go both ways. It doesn't necessarily need to be something which you go, hey, we're doing this as a family, but kind of, is there anything which you do that we can join in on?
Yeah. But if you were going to go for two what's that I think for us are what's that are spirit, like we've got lots of...
That's not a very spiritual...
Like we've got lots of traditions that are not spiritual and fun and, you know, just us, like Christmas Eve pajamas. The only present we open on Christmas Eve, everybody gets pajamas for that night. But I think the two spiritual ones to engage with that bigger story, one is when we're all living together, we would watch the BBC Nativity. The BBC Nativity when the guy from Broadchurch is Joseph and Doctor Who is a wise man. So 2009, we watched it live in 4 episodes and then we're like, this is amazing. And then each Sunday of Advent, we would light an Advent candle and watch 30 minutes. And we now quote it
all the time.
And it's amazing. It is amazing.
And actually, on that, going back to the kind of discipling kids question, is I know that depiction of the nativity was really big for me in going, because I think sometimes you hear a story, you know, like, oh, it's a story, it's not necessarily real. Whereas I feel like that this depiction really helped me with this happened. This isn't just a story of the time. And there's a beautiful moment where it's like Mary just a little bit freaking out. And I think it's the humanness of the story. And that was so big for me, and I think that's something that has really, especially as a kid then growing up with it, of it's not just a story that people put on par with like the Easter Bunny or like things like that. It's no, this is the reality of...
They do it so
humor
well.
in it.
So now the kids are older this year. So there's still an ownership of it. We did for a few years, as people dispersed, we tried remote watching. But now it feels like as people arrive, we watch it in one go.
So that's cool as well, that your traditions aren't fossilized, like they're the things that you have to do in this particular way. You're also, as a family, trying to work out, well, what does it look like now as the family of grown? That's really cool.
Yeah.
Like that.
And then the second what of engaging with the story, and again, this has a journey to it of different expressions, but I think we wanted to use a nativity scene and a little bit like everybody gets their calendar with chocolates in, and we hang them up all in one place. We keep open those, but then we had separately, we were trying to work out how do you do a nativity scene and to use each of the elements of that to open it and tell a story and ask a question each day. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Blue Peter, come on.
So this is what Chriselle made, because we had our own nativity, but then each figure. So there's Mary, for instance. So Mary goes in the bags, and the figures are in the bags along with sweets and a little note, which is a question for the day.
Oh,
But
wow.
the reason the 3 bags are different colors is because the kids would argue about they all wanted to be Jesus on day 24. So we had to rotate, and then you get to put Mary in, you get to read the question and all that kind of thing. And one person would move the kings each day somewhere around the house.
To the most ridiculous spaces if you are able to.
Like upside down on a radiator. They had blue tack on their feet.
Sticking out behind a picture frame.
Just comedy. But if I was going to do today, so today's 15th. Yeah.
Nice.
Then
This is awesome.
This is live and in the house advent calendar unwrapping.
Then normally what it would have is a sweet each, so you can chew on as you're chewing on the question.
Nice.
And then today's figure is
an angel.
Angel.
Yeah. So the angel goes into the puzzle. Are you going to put it in? And then I'll read the little card. Suddenly and then you produce it from the bag. Suddenly the angel. So suddenly the angel was joined by loads of others singing glory to God in the highest and peace on earth to all whom God favors. So that's the verse. And then the basic question is, what does it mean to be favored by God?
I really love that you did that with the same energy as when I was like 5.
And then once almost the kids were getting older, there was a follow-up or more life application, which is, where do you think you see God's favor in your life at the moment? Now, because people are familiar with the story, what we've done this year is just open the bags and one person each day has led a reflection on it.
Love that.
And Joseph, when Chriselle had Joseph a couple of days ago, she just lifted this and went, isn't he the example in the story of somebody who he totally expected that one thing was going to happen? And yet the purposes of God were not what he expected. And how Joseph acted with integrity, and looking to divorce her quietly. And then God kicked in.
Yeah.
But actually, life doesn't always provide what you expect. It's part of the Christmas story.
Love that.
That's so cool. That's what I was going to ask though, because it sounds great now and it sounds really engaging. But like when you've got a 13-year-old boy and 15-year-old or 17-year-old girls who are like they want to go do their makeup or something, or like play games with their friends, or like not hang out with their parents. How do you keep the traditions interesting and engaging through all the life stages?
Great question.
There's been real ownership of this one, I'd say.
Really?
I'd say sweets help.
Sugar.
So even having foster children with us, actually, you're going to have to listen to people going off on some deep spiritual religious thing, but at least you get to eat some sweets.
I think even going back to the very first thing that we were talking about of like really including people, because there's an element where like I have gone through teenagedom. I know it doesn't look it, but I have gone through teenagedom and I still have as much, if not more, ownership year on year on these traditions. Because, and I think because of you have been really good at including us all. We haven't felt like
if it needs to change, let's change.
Yeah, and it hasn't felt like it's not like we're making you do this. We're all doing it together. It's not like mum and dad are the main players making us do something. It's we're a team and we're all doing it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So guys, you've made your own traditions. What about, you've talked about being a Danish family as well as an English family. So you celebrate Danish Christmas Eve and then you have presumably English Christmas Day. And how have you tried to use the traditions that everybody does to help tell the Christmas story? Because you've been very creative. You talked about lots of different things that you've created yourselves. How have you kind of embraced some of the normal Christmas traditions that other people might do? Like, do you have turkey and do you include that in part of the family traditions? And how do you make that something that's meaningful for the Christian story rather than just, oh, well, everyone eats turkey on Christmas Day?
Well, on one level, good food is part of a good celebration.
Come on.
So we're not going to criticize good, but and I love the fact, I would encourage any household to go, what's the heritage of your background that you want to embrace? So because of Chriselle's two elements of heritage are Danish and Scottish, we try and incorporate certain elements of those, but our son Jaden has married a Bulgarian.
Yeah.
So, and she's from an Orthodox background, and she's got a narrative of the Christian story, but really different. So things like Christmas Eve is almost seen as more Lenten from her culture, and they only eat vegetables.
Oh.
But for her, it's this really favorite thing that's this fried potato cake with gherkins, and she's made us that. So even embracing her into the family, it's like, how can we include some of your traditions into that basically don't have anything to do with that story, but they do have something to do with your cultural story. It's not just that you know your place in the God story, it's where you know your place in the family story and your cultural story. So to affirm certain cultural things and I guess then we're trying to work out which bits are spiritual.
Right.
So if we're going to go Christmas Eve, so for us, we do the tree right there, and it has lights on, and we sent you the video of it. But for us, just about the most profound thing is singing songs. But when we most sing songs is when we first turn all the lights out, and we have two lights next to the nativity stable, which is the other side of this room. So the room's in complete darkness, and then normally we read, or somebody just says the bit from John 1. And then we talk about in him as light, and that light was the light of the world, and the light overcame the darkness. And we normally speak to that. Our original tradition for this is that we would turn all the lights out and then light the candles from the nativity candles whilst playing Delirious's "There Is a Light."
Oh yeah, wow.
And we still do that and in fact we've even now got it with a loop on it, so it goes on for longer. But because the Danish tradition is to have candles on the tree, we are in darkness, we light the candles and light the candles on the tree, and then we walk around the tree singing songs.
I love that.
Which does sound a little bit weird, but
and
presumably, if you've been doing it since you were a
it
kid,
does.
it's not
It
weird,
does.
right?
And as a teenager, inviting friends round for this, you do have to have the conversation of like, we're not in a cult. We want to sing. My mum is a burns therapist. The tree has never caught fire in living memory.
The first thing people ask is, does your insurance company know about this? Always.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then we've actually developed a songbook. There you go. And then it's a mixture of worship carols and so on, but also songs that we like Jingle Bells, and like Jake, our foster son, he loves Jingle Bells. He just wants to do. He always wants to do Jingle Bells going around the tree. And but then there are also pictures of the family from different stages of life. There's one of Seannah.
Wait, which one are you saying? I like that one.
Yeah, so it's a slightly bizarre that we tend to walk around the tree, but the idea of remembering the story by being in darkness, lighting candles. Yeah, we choose to do it lighting a tree. So that would be that. In many ways, I think is our most spiritual. And then we originally did Delirious, There Is a Light. And then I think it was you suggested
Now Behold the Lamb by Kirk Franklin. It's gospel. It's amazing.
It's on a gospel Christmas, I think. And then we've got a kind of rotating list of about 5. One of them being
Gregory Porter.
Thank you. As Wise Men Travel. Just so we literally darken the room, just have that contemplative moment, remember the story, bring light into the room for us on the tree, and then we sing songs about it.
So cool.
Love that.
I am very aware that is a very unique and Calladine tradition, that even thinking about if you're starting off and wanting to, almost the question where you're differentiating between spiritual and non-spiritual. One thing which Dad was very good at when I was very young, like this would primarily be around like watching TV or reading or anything, is okay, well, where's God in that? And so from a very young age, or the redemptive meta narrative as I got older, but
Is it godlike?
is it godlike? And so I feel like from a very, very young age, I've really been shown that the spiritual and natural are very, very intertwined. So I think there's an element of, even to the question of, I wouldn't necessarily want to differentiate between the two. Because what you've said about like food and meals, there is something that's so spiritual about that connection over a table and over the sharing of food. And the conversations we have, yes, they're spiritual questions, but they've come out of a family culture where you've really set the bar and a standard for authenticity and vulnerability, that we can meet in that place talking about spiritual elements, but it's come from this place of, hey, you can be completely and utterly authentically yourself with me. You're safe. I love you and I trust you. You can come and be. You're seeing a very particular manifestation of what it's grown into over so many years.
Yeah.
But I think there is a thing of, I wouldn't say any of our traditions are purely non-spiritual or any of our traditions are purely spiritual, because it's just
let me give you a couple of the non-spiritual spiritual. Is that so we light the tree, we do the one gift, which for us is normally pajamas.
Yeah.
And then we go to bed, and then everybody gets a stocking that looks like they do literally hang on the fire. So there's the stocking with people's initials on.
Nice.
And everybody, it used to be that none of these are big things. They got satsumas and the coins at the bottom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it used to be that Chriselle and I would be up until 2 a.m. wrapping for every stocking. But now all the kids help.
Oh, it's so much fun.
And everybody brings a food item and a non-food item for every stocking. And we normally spend a couple of hours that morning. There's no big gifts, but it feels so spiritual because it isn't consumerism. It's just enjoying little gifts.
Yeah.
Like toothpaste and rolls of sellotape. And we have this thing about match, and match, when everybody has got one in their stocking. Yeah.
So good.
So that's, and then we try and go for a Christmas Day walk, getting out together and just being in it. Which again has been weird for some of the people who've joined our household to go for a walk, but just to be in it. And then but then we've got to prepare ourselves for Boxing Day. Our Boxing Day tradition is porridge and poker.
So good.
Are you having a giggle?
So we have, because of the Scottish thing, we have porridge that has cream and honey and this whiskey liqueur in it for breakfast. Wow. So it's the only time of the year that we have alcohol for breakfast. And then we light the fire. We have a really amazing, this rich porridge. And then a few years ago, I think it was Jaden started it, wasn't it? He really wanted to dress up and play poker. And it's become our tradition now that we do Boxing Day equals porridge and poker.
Porridge and poker.
This is insane. You guys have so many traditions. It's like actually quite overwhelming. I think.
Yeah, but and that's the 35-year thing.
Yeah.
We didn't at the start, and we didn't even 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so cool that it's developed though, and like as you guys have got older, you've got involved. I think it's time for the killer question, Dad.
Go on, Daisy.
Yeah, I'm going to ask it. If you could encourage families to choose just one Christmas tradition to prioritise for building faith and family unity, what would it be?
I think mine would be something about how do you best engage with the story. So if it involves a love of BBC Nativity, then great. But if not, then even like the idea of just nativity pieces, we've got that puzzle, but you get like the 24 days in drawers, or, you know, just do a piece each day, a question with it, add some sweets, light a candle, make it spiritual, but something that helps you engage with the story. And I don't know a better way than using the pieces to peer behind the curtain of what was really going on and what was that really like, and to understand that this story is true. So if it's true, it bears examination and dealing with deeply. Light a candle, involve sweets, and use the nativity creatively to ask questions, open questions.
Yeah.
What was that other bit? I was quite a lot.
I think you mentioned 5 there, Mal. It was meant to be 1, but
No, but I think it's so good, but I think it's a really tricky question, if I'm being honest, because I think every family is so unique that I think it's maybe even taking one thing which you potentially already do and then adding something to it. Because I feel like that's almost how our 1,000,000,001 traditions have come about, is because we've kind of each year gone, could we do this as well? And it's absolutely snowballed to the point that I really hope that Christmas Eve fettuccine becomes something which we do regularly. I think it is so hard to pick one, because I also, like, I know that what works for us might not necessarily work for everyone else. So take that one thing that you're already doing it, but then adding that. If you already have a cup of tea, we'll have a cup of tea and a question.
Yeah,
Or,
which we only do at Advent.
Yeah.
We don't do that the rest of the year.
yeah.
We don't gather so intentionally.
Or even like Christmas dinner, as we're all sat here, can we go around and say, what is one thing that is meaningful about this time to you?
Yeah.
Because even then, you might even get ideas for traditions that you could do later on, but that kind of actually... We are now experts of doing things incredibly extra, but it's kind of, it doesn't need to, and you don't need to start from that. I think the temptation is to start from that place, but actually
just do one thing a year.
Yeah.
And then if you do it next year, you've established a tradition.
Yeah, hugely.
Yeah,
If you've done it twice, it's become a tradition.
Christmas Eve fettuccine.
Come on.
I could give you one I've been thinking about for this year, like one we haven't done yet, is that Chriselle picked up a new 24 in the middle aisle of Lidl.
Yeah.
She found a 24 pockets thing, and I've been really struck with Lectio this year. Some of the Advent prayers in Lectio, and doing the O antiphons and the 7 prayers of that. And effectively to do a prayer for each day in these 24 pockets. And then on the other side, having a daily challenge of, you know, who can you be kind to today? Or who can you give something to today? Or who can you tell the story of, to find out the story of today, and ask them where their story meets God's story, or whatever, just that it would have a daily prayer and a daily challenge. We haven't done that one yet, but that's for year 35, because we're little.
I love that. And I think knowing you guys, it seems very much, Chriselle is so creative. Mal, you're so good at seeing the bigger picture and trying to wrap the story around different things and relating that to what it is that you're going through, everyday objects. That's why I wanted us to talk with you, because the two of you together have just created these beautiful rhythms and patterns that the kids have gotten involved in. And because, as you were saying, Seannah, you guys feel safe around one another. It might be a bit weird if you think about it from the outside looking in, but actually this is what we do. And that sort of ownership, that family identity that helps retell the story each year is exactly why we wanted to talk to you about it. Mal, Seannah, thank you so much for your time. It's been great to have you on the Famalam podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please do like and share and subscribe, comment, do all the things you do. We would love to encourage other families in how to build their lives around Jesus and his teachings. Seeing as this is coming out just before Christmas, we hope you have a fantastic Christmas. And because Christmas is a Thursday, we have an episode coming out on Christmas Day. So happy Christmas. See you Christmas Day. God bless you. Bye.